is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you were injured while riding in a Lyft or an Uber, you might be entitled to compensation. These big corporations are responsible for keeping you safe while you're riding. We are Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, and we are ready to fight to get you more. With more than 800 lawyers, 100 offices, and more than $20 billion recovered, Morgan fights to get you more. So if you've been injured in a Lyft or an Uber, contact Morgan & Morgan right now. Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's no secret, the clock is ticking. Grab your last-minute gifts at
Norma News.
Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10. Toys by Barbie, Disney, Mattel, Hot Wheels, Nerf, Sonic, Fisher-Price, and more, starting at just $3.99. Small electronics you can easily wrap for $4.99. Box gift sets you can throw a bow on, start at just $5.99. Box cozy PJs start at $9.99.
Norma News.
Don't wait, time is running out. Get to Foreman Mills now.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Happy holidays to all. It's the perfect time to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements and their Deck the Hall sale, because right now you can save up to 78% on exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health. From essentials like omega-3s, probiotics, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. And the best part? Over a dozen health-boosting rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started. Stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Do it today.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
What a morning. Whirlwind and a lot of breaking news right now. Obviously on Capitol Hill in a moment, you'll hear the very latest on Trump and the dynamic trio, the Doge. And, well, what I would say is on Capitol Hill, they're getting a taste of the future as accountability and transparency is reigning. That's not what you're seeing in the headlines. We'll get to all of that. We'll get to District Attorney Larry Krasner leading the protests as they jammed traffic during the evening rush.
He wasn't, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy's the reason I was stuck there in Chinatown for...
Yes, sir.
Oh, come on, Lair.
Big old Krasner, he told the crowd of, they estimated 100. It looked like a pretty good rally, but they are Sanctuary City supporters. Krasner telling the crowd he won't hesitate to charge ICE officers, federal officers, with crimes if they violate the law while taking official action. So we'll definitely get to that story. The developing story that we're watching very carefully right now, well, two of them, one in Pennsylvania, as of course that accused healthcare CEO killer looks like he'll be extradited and go through his 2 hearings this morning and then extradited very quickly to Manhattan facing those first-degree murder charges. But I just want to headline for you something that we talked to Councilman Mark Squilla, yesterday about, and that is this vote. It is expected to pass. You know that, right? That now I keep saying right because of that woman that we aired it for a long time. And so that's why, those weird speaking patterns and they get into your brain. So I got to stop the bad habit. That real, kooky lady saying, right. Now I'm saying right. So it gets in your brain. You don't want that. But we talked to Councilman Squilla. They did a vote last week just to check everybody's pulse, 12-4 in favor of this. This is going to pass, I believe, $1.3 billion being infused into Philadelphia for the Sixers. And that's why Dan's playing the Sixers song. Yay. They'll be happy, we hope. But not so much for, some residents who believe this will crush the culture of Chinatown and crush some businesses. So we'll see how that shakes out and what the bottom line number for those CBA funds to help empower the community and get them through it type thing. But it looks like the Sixers Arena deal will pass. So we'll keep you posted on that one. And then the other stories, of course, and that's taxes going up in now Democrat-controlled suburban areas. So we talked a lot about this. Delaware County, that passionate meeting, Delco, where, Larry Bear, my husband, Larry Menti, born and raised, and grew up in Delco. We were married at St. Philomena's nearly 25 years ago. So I love Delaware County, and I know you do too. But now taxes are going up, once again, 23%. We have Chester County, passionate meeting there. We're hearing about all these big spending plans by the Democrat-controlled, suburban areas, and that includes Chester County. What's that, 13%? And now the very latest looks like Montgomery County. We've got another hike, and I believe that's 9%. So 3 counties. I don't see Bucks numbers going up, so we'll see. I don't recall a meeting where we learned that Bucks taxes were going up. But your taxes, if you live in Delco, Montco, or Chesco, your taxes are going up. And for some of you, they've been going up. Maybe in the Montgomery County, they had a tax hike. Well, this is the third one in 3 years, but this one is more significant. And part of this, and I'm just waiting to hear from you, because part of this is to fund not just a one-time thing, $2 million for a new homeless shelter that would be in Lansdale. I have family who live in Lansdale right now. Beautiful area. But this is a $10 million 5-year deal. So every year for 5 years, you, Montgomery County, pay for this homeless shelter. Do you think that's fair? So it's a total of $10 million you're going to pay over 5 years. And this is part of the reason that raising, once again, your property taxes. So let's see if there's accountability with this. No doubt, as we talk about the budget battle on Capitol Hill, you absolutely deserve transparency for why your taxes are going up. And I will tell you, that's one of the reasons I do support this new Sixers Arena, because I think it's one of the many reasons that council and Mayor Parker are embracing it, because it infuses, it's not just great for reviving Market Street, that so-called fashion district, but also because when you infuse that much money in, right, then, there I said right, darn it, then you are going to, in essence, you're going to help keep the taxes where they are. So I'm just pointing that out to you. That's part of, they need to infuse money. All the COVID bucks running out. But for Democrats in the burbs, they better watch it, because many of you in these meetings, you're speaking out. Just as you should, I hope you do this, you contact your local Congress person. Tell them whether or not you support the Doge, right? Oh, I said it again. I have to give a prize now. I have to say, if I say right so many times, I'll buy you a drink. Now you're just doing that on purpose. I'll buy you a drink tomorrow night, and as we gather to really help support the families behind the badge and the family of Officer Annie Chan, who's, his wife and kids are amazing. Whew, man, I ran during that. I had a timer on. And it was about, Dan, I almost made it in 4 minutes. Ooh. But the problem was, this was in Kalenco. I realized I forgot the bags for all y'all's little gift, little gift package.
Okay.
So I ran to the car and I said, you have 4 minutes. But the problem is the elevators never working in the parking garage. So run up 4 flights of stairs and then down. But then on top of it, then our elevator, they were all full, and then it's slow. I thought I was going to get stuck in that Vader for one.
Blame the elevator, Dawn.
I am blaming the elevator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was running
Our production manager, Frank, said on his way in that he happened to catch a very fleety Dawn Stensland running at top speed.
Because he was like, hey, Dawn. I was like, can't stop. I was like running up the stairs.
Gotta go.
He's like, what is going on? And I had my phone with the timer on. So at that point, I was still like, I made it to the car in like a minute 30.
Yeah.
I was getting back.
So that was that last break during the Kale show. You had to run out to the car. And
I know.
I'm happy you're back, and you made it back in time for
here.
The read. And yeah.
If you want to sound off, I can show you guys So this was Sue's idea, and this is the thing. The last Italy trip, we all became buds, and we have our. So if Sue is, I think this was Sue's idea. I think Denise seconded the motion, but I'll just show you my back of my Christmas card. Can I show? Are we on YouTube?
YouTube.com/@1210WPHT. Please go like and subscribe and check out Dawn's Christmas card.
So here, I just want to show you guys because this was us as we had this like ongoing theme. Volare, da 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 da. We would just. So then this is the guy who made the song famous. And do you know what volare means, Dan? Can
No
you guys
idea,
see this?
no.
Am I on?
Let me look at the camera. You gotta go. Yeah, it's right in the center.
Right.
Look at you.
So there we are, and we're singing Vol, and we took turns. So somebody snapped this picture, and they said, you should put this on your Christmas card. But that's the Italy trip. It's a trip. I mean, look at this memory with our teenage sons when someday they're with their wives and they won't even come home for Christmas. And I'll, no, I'm teasing.
Yes, they will.
But
Come on.
this is the trip of the lifetime. We're going to go again next spring. But what a blast, and what a great memory. And then this is all flash. This is our front of our photo. We were at Longwood Gardens. Do you know how hard it is? There are actually 10 of us. And how hard it is to get together for a card. Do you know what I mean?
No,
to get a
it's
picture.
so true. Yeah. That's why you have to schedule it to go to the mall shots. And
So it's like everybody. Yeah.
JCPenney, yeah.
Well, there's no hope. But we happen to all be at Stacia was like, coming to Longwood. So we all went together and snapped a photo. There we are. I'm done. It was crazy this morning, wasn't it? I don't know what.
Yeah.
When Greg, part of it is a compliment to Greg Stocker when he's off. But also, I don't know, when you just have different, because we're easing into the fill-in schedule. So it just kind of, we all get off kilter. And then it becomes cray-cray, right?
It's organized chaos when Greg's
Organized
here.
chaos.
Yeah.
Yes. So kudos to Greg. And Greg, we told him take a break. Of course, he was listening. He was texting little critiques and what he liked and what he didn't like.
Yeah. Go, take your day off.
Right? Oh, there I said right. Oh! See? For every right I say I have to buy somebody a drink.
Right.
I'm going to be broke. You stop it, you
I'm
silly.
doing it. That was genuine.
That was? Where do we get this stuff from? But that's why, see, it's just like your mom told you. You have to be careful of who you associate with. Because you don't want to say, pick up bad little habits. And speaking habits are probably the worst that could happen to us. I got to tell you about, what am I doing here? Am I talking about What a Crock
You
here?
are, yeah.
Because I think I told you yesterday, my niece Hannah, I'm talking to my dad. He's pushing 90. And we're, how are you doing, Dad? And then halfway through the conversation, he goes, oh, and yeah, Hannah's here with the baby. She had the baby? Dad, you buried the lead. So immediately.
I don't tell you that, first off. Like, come on.
And she probably thinks, like, Auntie Dawn hasn't even called me.
Yeah.
Dad. But this is why whatacrock.com is so brilliant, because immediately I look good because just got it right off to send to everybody. It's that's when it really comes in handy. This time, the holiday season, Hanukkah, Christmas, maybe you forgot somebody. Maybe you just learned you were the last one to know that somebody in the family had a baby, had a surgery. Whatacrock.com. Okay, what do I love about it? Because it's easy peasy. There's zero prep. I literally just drop one of their meals into my slow cooker in the early morning hours before I head to work. And when we come home, because we're all busy, dinner is simmering. Sometimes I forget because the days are so long that I even put in the What a Crock, in the slow cooker. I get home and I think, oh my goodness. Oh, thank goodness. Whatacrock.com. Seriously, you got to do this. And you can always choose a What a Crock digital gift card. And that's wonderful, too, to let them choose their own meals. So I told you the other day, Lair Bear loved the grandma's homemade meatballs. David's favorite is the chicken parm meatballs, because in the middle is this just delicious Parmesan cheese that's melted. It's kind of that little surprise in the middle. That's David's favorite. Michael's favorite, I would say it's a split between the French toast or the all-bean hearty chili. They have a gazillion different kinds of chili. So just think about whatacrock.com. Here's the thing. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have a commitment if you don't want it. Just order when you want, what you want. Use promo code WPHT. You're going to get $10 off your order. Whatacrock.com. Make sure you use WPHT, your promo code. Remember, $10 off. Whatacrock.com. Developing store I'm going to give you right around the corner. Stay right there.
Hey, Trish Zioli. So I was thinking the other day about how many people would love to have access to my browsing history. All the data that I'm looking at. I mean, this is a crazy time in which we live. People love to profile you, but I don't have to worry about any of that because I've got Privacy Pro from DuckDuckGo, and I use their secure VPN, and this keeps my data encrypted no matter where I am, when on the road. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you a 30-day free trial by going to DuckDuckGo.com/1210. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Privacy Pro for less than $10 a month. You get that VPN to secure and encrypt your data on any Wi-Fi network anywhere, even at home from your internet service provider. You're also going to get personal identity theft restoration if, God forbid, somebody steals your identity, and personal data removal. They're going to keep scanning, finding your data, and removing it for you. That's incredibly important. All that for $10 a month. Are you kidding me? You got to have this in this day and age. So go to DuckDuckGo.com/1210 and sign up today for a free 30-day trial. DuckDuckGo.com/1210.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Local news can come at you fast. Want the latest on what's happening in your backyard? Download the free Odyssey app. Follow your local news station, and you'll get alerts on the top stories making headlines in your city. You can stay in the know, no matter what you're up to, and be among the first to find out when news breaks. Plus, keep tabs on weather and traffic, so you're never caught off guard. To get started, download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. And follow your local news station.
For the area's finest dining experience with fabulous cuisine, extensive wine list, and waterfront views of the Philly skyline, visit the River Winds Restaurant in West Deptford, New Jersey. Enjoy entrees that feature certified Black Angus steaks and the freshest seafood while overlooking the Delaware River. River Winds can host your next special event. They'll plan your holiday party, family gathering, or corporate meeting in one of their newly renovated waterfront rooms, each with a private deck. For an incredible dining experience or special event, theriverwindsrestaurant.com.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Man, we can't even keep up with all this breaking news, you guys. There's Trump news, and this is, let's just do the Trump dance for every one of these, but there's Trump good news, so Merry Christmas, Mr. President-elect. But the breaking news, well, first of all, Philadelphia City Council, I told you, they're meeting, they'll vote, and when that comes through, and we'll find out all about the money. But let's look at the Mangione breaking news. This is the accused assassin of an American CEO. And it looks like in court just moments ago, he left the court and he was whisked away, waiving extradition on his way to New York, as far as I can see. So formally waiving extradition to New York. He's here in Pennsylvania. He is expected to be flown from Pennsylvania to Manhattan today. And a Manhattan grand jury, we reported to you, has already indicted this suspect for murder, first-degree murder, as an act of terrorism in Mr. Thompson's death. Brian Thompson, husband, father of 2 sons. So the suspect facing 11 counts in New York with a new lawyer, according to sources, and I believe his mother was quoted, but he's expected to face these federal charges related to the shooting, so not just state charges, but as well federal charges related to the shooting of Thompson. I believe that's a new detail, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall hearing that he was going to face the federal charges layered over the New York charges, and I don't know what those federal charges will be. I suspect it's part of that act of terrorism because of what was in the manifesto that's allegedly his. You know, I'm speaking properly here. Everybody in America, even if it looks very bad, has the right to be presumed innocent until proven otherwise. So Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg there, he calls this killing intended to evoke terror and calls it a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder. Well, truthfully, the police and the detectives had already called it a frightening, well-planned, targeted murder, but the DA echoing those police sentiments on that one. So the second hearing has, the first hearing happened early, second hearing now going forth. So we know that he drove off. Apparently, they're driving him to the airport so he can, be flown there. The other story, and I think you'll be glad to hear this, and I know that President-elect Trump is thrilled to hear this one. The Georgia Court of Appeals disqualifying Fulton County DA Fannie Willis. I don't know if it's Fannie Fani, but whatever. Used to be Fannie. You can say Fannie, Fani, potato, but she is disqualified, whatever you want to say, from her 2020 election interference case against the president-elect. And CNN calls it a shocking ruling. The second division, this just happened, this is breaking news. This is the second division of the Peach State's Appellate Court has said they denied a request to throw out the case entirely, but they did indeed grant the motion to kick off Willis. Good for you. I mean, come on, that's good judgment, and I think it's the right thing to do. She obviously led the indictment against Trump in her backwards dress. Remember that? She wore the zipper. It's supposed to be a back zipper. She wore it in the front, backwards dress. I don't know why she was hurrying to get dressed, but wore that dress backwards. But obviously Trump is one of 18 co-defendants. And so the case, unfortunately, it's not thrown out, but I think this is a major development as we see that the DA is kicked out. Not a good sign for her. Man, there's just so much breaking. I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that a lot of elected officials or government officials, they want to get her done even today, this afternoon. They would love to do that so that they can take a longer break. And that brings me to what's going on. I know we'll get to the sanctuary, so you tell me when you want to get to the sanctuary city Krasner stuff, Dan, but I do want to bring up this budget situation because I love this. I love the fact that even, I'll say it just shows you, many lawmakers who've been on Capitol Hill, bipartisan I'm talking about, were not really paying attention, and they're used to this. Oh, this is the end of the year. Whoop, whoop. We're going to go to our party. They were all partying. They were already at their parties, most of them, and this is according to multiple reports. And so they said, oh, phew, we passed our bipartisan budget bill. Everything's hunky-dory. Slipped in my little pork. This thing is more than 1,547 pages. So guess who read the thing? Guess who? Vivek. Now, he's that guy, when you're in high school or college, if he's, you have a group project, if he's that guy who's part of your group project, you are just doing a happy dance. But if he's not, if he's on the opposite debate team, you're thinking, oh my God, because this guy doesn't miss a thing. He's so quick, he's smart, and he reads everything thoroughly. And so that's what they did not count on. Elon and Vivek, this dynamic duo, they read it. They read the whole thing. They went through it. I would love to be a fly on the wall. I would love that audio. I wish they would do a reenactment, Like, oh, look at here on page, let's see, yo, Vivek, listen, I'm doing my reenactment. Yo, Vivek, look at this on page
Great reenactment,
1,000. I'm horrible at reenactments.
Yo, Vivek.
Where's Sam Katz, our great reenactor when we need him? But, here, yo, look at this. Look at this. Page 1,522, whatever. Look at who's putting this in here. And that's what they did. They read the whole thing. And what they found in there, and this, at first when I saw it, I thought, oh, good that they caught it. And then I thought, wait a minute, Republicans were going to pass this. So they were asleep at the wheel. Let's just be honest. They get a second chance. This is a mulligan for those Republicans and Democrats who don't want this kind of thing, whether it's the pork that they stuffed in there, the fleecing of our tax dollars, as Elon had said, and Vivek too. But also, what about the fact that they're trying to give heavy cover for the J6 persecutors? That's just wrong. Let a new administration and a new day and transparency deal with that. But oh no, they want to give their little persecution team all the cover in the world. And by the way, also what they want to do is I use the word cover. In our group chat on YouTube earlier, I'd said the word dim transparency. I'm always trying to be fair, but it feels like an attempted cover up. 855-839-1210. Is that too strong of a word? Because it feels to me like this is one of those things where either Republicans got played, or did they know that this was happening, that they were trying to give heavy cover for Liz Cheney and company, and then as well to disallow the transparency that's promised in the upcoming administration. And so Trump and team had put out there 32 days, you're going to have a new president. And Trump, this is wise, not blaming quote unquote Democrats, but blaming the big guy, blaming the boss. Who's in charge? Joe Biden. 855-839-1210. And Joe Biden, by the way, is the one that they made the appeal to with Krasner, with the crowd here in Philadelphia by Independence Hall as they blocked traffic of our great Dan Borowski and many others.
That was
last
miserable,
night.
Dawn. I actually saw them being escorted off the highway there.
It's dangerous, too.
It's really dangerous. It's very dangerous. It causes quite a situation down there. And, They shouldn't be doing that.
And let's say,
down to. And why is our DA, encouraging it?
And you know what I'd like to see, Dan, speaking of that, what if you were, what if you are a cancer survivor and you've had some emergency situation and you say to your loved one, let's just drive across the river, drive across the Ben Franklin Bridge, because that's where the big backup was, till we can get to our specialist at the great, Cooper University Hospital, right, where our friend Dr. Anthony Mazzarelli, I think Dr. Maz might be filling in tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I know he certainly, I don't know how he does it. He's a lawyer, a doctor, and a fill-in host.
It's impressive.
And is he doing tomorrow?
He is doing tomorrow, yeah.
He's another, Dr. Maz, he's our local Doge. He's like our local Elon and Vivek. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's just that brilliant guy. He has a bunch of kids, not as many as Elon, but he and his wife, and she's a heart surgeon. These are brilliant people. Talk about improving the gene pool. So what if you're rushing over? What if you're rushing to Cooper, not in an ambulance, but it's enough of an emergency, and you say, we can get there in minutes. Let's just not call an ambulance. I can drive you there really fast. And then you block somebody from getting to their hospital right over the bridge. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think there should be an extra, I'm not for extra laws, you know me, but I do feel that if you impede somebody, especially if they're amid an emergency, like what if your wife goes into labor and you say, we don't have time to call the ambulance, honey, or water breaks. Yeah. You're at dinner in Old City, where we're going to be tomorrow night for families backing the badge and the families behind the badge. What if you're right there, your wife's this could be you, Dan, someday. What if, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if you're with Maisie and you go, oh my gosh, we're at dinner and Cuba Libre and her water just broke. We're rushing over to Cooper University Hospital. Can you imagine Zioli in that scenario? He'd have the heart attack. Bridget would have to drive.
There's no Wegmans in Philadelphia.
But imagine that. And then these people. So I think maybe that should be an added law that if you impede somebody amid an emergency, you should face a boosted charge. What do you think?
No, 100%. And can I just also underline how stupid these particular protesters are?
Please do.
Because you're going to block the Ben Franklin Bridge to protest immigration and blockade Chinatown the day before the vote for the Sixers. I was walking around Chinatown. Everybody thought that this protest was another blockade after last week's blockade and had nothing to do with immigration. So they're trying to get their point heard here. They do it the day before the stadium vote. Everyone's automatic assumption is for something else. So underlining the stupidity of the protesters, but also, Dawn, I got to question you because I had the thought yesterday, is this going to be the case when there's a 76ers stadium down here? Is this going to be a regular thing where people are unable to move? And if so, what's your counter to that as someone like me who supports the stadium?
My counter is that Anne-Marie Muldoon yesterday had the best idea. We should call it the Muldoon Monorail. What do you think?
Ooh, I like where this is going.
I love her idea.
I think The Simpsons did it, but
yes.
let's get going.
Let's get it going on. The Muldoon Monorail. Seriously, why not? Have this sleek, and can you imagine Jimmy Kelly, who's legally blind, he takes SEPTA and all the time around the city for somebody who could take that silent. First of all, it's not a loud clankety clank, big old train or subway, whatever, bus. I think they pollute less. So why don't we have a monorail? And that's,
I like that idea.
It lets you would avoid, they should have the monorail and then it should go over the river.
So what's the route?
Did you know back in the day they had something like a monorail that would go over the river? Did you know that? That was a plan.
And it makes sense. I mean, you have so much lost opportunity in this city for tourism development, and you add something like what you're suggesting, and I know there's kind of some tongue-in-cheek here to a degree, but there's also the serious notion that if you were to build something like that monorail and you have all this questionable development that's happening on the river, questionable in the sense of, why is things not moving into the tourism direction as the city has wanted for the longest time, this would be a huge, huge boon to that. So, great idea.
And Anne-Marie said it, but even if for Mayor Parker, can you imagine if under her administration she got that done? She got a monorail, but she needs to meet with Trump. She does. I'm starting the movement. Mayor Sherrell Parker, when Trump is elected, go see the new administration and say, this is what we need to make Philadelphia and our cities great again. Work with the new administration. Get the federal dollars. Would she ever do that? Has a Democrat mayor ever really done that? But if anybody would, I think it's her because she's all she cares about is Philadelphia. That's what I see. Even though I know you're going to say, Dawn, did she do the due diligence? Yes, she did. She campaigned somewhat for Kamala Harris. But remember who she wanted. She wanted Josh Shapiro. And so she went through the motions. But was she all her excited, enthusiastic self if you know her? And she was our representative in the Northwest, so we know her. I'm just saying that she was not as excited as, we know she could have been if Shapiro had been the candidate. And by the way, I will tell you, I have talked to more and more people who voted, who are Jewish Americans, who voted for Democrats in the past for most of their lives. And this time around, even though they're kind of like the conservatives who remained in the closet, they are Trump supporters who remain this time around, Trump voters, I should say, who are in the closet. But more and more Jewish Americans said this time around, after what happened, they could not vote for somebody in the Biden administration. Especially, I think the turning point, that's when I started hearing about this. And you heard, how many times did we have Jeff Bartos, the great Jeff Bartos, on? But it's not just Jeff. There were so many people when Kamala Harris, remember when she went to visit she made an excuse, I'm going to go visit my sorority sisters, and she blew off Benjamin Netanyahu. While we had a crisis after October 7th, we have American hostages. And by the way, Trump in the headlines again, saying, release these hostages now. He every day Trump is saying this, and it's in the headlines again. Where is the Biden administration, Dan? Could you play the audio of of the Biden-Harris administration.
I don't have
saying
that.
And why don't you have it? Because they didn't say it. I got you again.
That's the second day in a row, Dawn. I don't like this.
I'm very mischievous.
Yeah, you are.
855-839-1210.
Hey, back to the monorail.
Yes.
Remember when the zoo had one? Philadelphia Zoo until 2002 had that awesome monorail me and Jim were just talking about. And it was
what happened to that?
I don't know. It's just, yeah. I
totally forgot about that.
Yeah. No, they don't explain why, but it just says it was removed in 2002.
What? Does anybody know? This is a great, I wish I had a prize to give you. I'll buy you a
There's nothing on earth like a genuine, bona fide, electrified 6-car monorail. What I say?
Monorail.
What's it called?
Monorail.
That's right, monorail.
I hear those things are awfully loud.
It glides as softly as a cloud.
Is there a chance the track could bend?
Not on your life, my Hindu friend.
What about us brain-dead slobs?
You'll be given cushy jobs.
Gotta do it, Dawn.
It went away with the elephants. Remember we used to have the elephants?
Oh, really?
Then the elephants went away.
Oh, that's disappointing. Oh.
I should know this, but I can't remember. I can't remember what happened to it.
Need more monorails in Philadelphia. Let's bring one into the Sixers Stadium. Run it down to, bring it up to 30th Street Station. You can connect to the trains. It would be fantastic.
Okay, but I'm not exactly talking about that kind of a monorail that was at the Philadelphia Zoo.
Yeah, not like a fully novelty.
It was. I'm talking about the sleek.
Yeah.
They're usually silver.
Well,
like
I think of Disney,
Disney
World. I think of it.
Or who hasn't? Well, Anne-Marie Muldoon mentioned. What did she mention? Miami. Do they have the monorail? She was somewhere, maybe Atlanta, Miami. I forget. And it's usually silver or very sleek.
Metro mover is what they call it.
And it's clean, and it's easier to keep safe. And they're lovely. And imagine,
so futuristic and cool.
Very futuristic. That's the word. Modern, sleek, clean, safe. That's what we need in Philadelphia. Because then tourists as well as suburbanites. When's the last time, if you're from here, you're from the city of Philadelphia, right? You're born and raised. You love Philadelphia. I know you do. And I'll say, come down to the city. Nah, haven't been. Not going to go for the holidays. It's a shame. But I know that you're going to. Probably you're going to drive your Piazza automobile, right?
Yes.
Because I love by the way, you know what Larry said to me? Do you know what he said to me?
What's that?
I said, honey, what did I get you for Christmas? He's like, I really do need a new car. I was like, what? He puts that on me yesterday or day before you. I was like,
Larry, come on, man.
So I got to call my friends at Piazza. I don't know. Am I going to call Piazza Premium Automobiles? Piazza. Here's the thing. The deals right now, if you look at this, because they're the end of the year deals, so you're going to get the best deal and you're going to look good. But seriously, my friends at Piazza Premium Automobiles featuring the very latest. These are the luxury vehicles from today's top brands. I'm talking Mercedes-Benz, Jaguar, Land Rover, BMW, Porsche, Alfa Romeo, Maserati, and more. These models have such incredible, sleek new designs, innovative features, powered by the very latest in technology, of course. And they have thousands of these new and certified pre-owned vehicles available right now across their Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey dealerships. Piazza Premium Automobiles stands out. Visit them. PiazzaPremiumAutos.com, Piazza, PiazzaPremiumAutos.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Make sure your child or grandchild has all the tools they need to succeed this school year. Call Kathy Ganna and New Hope Academy in Yardley and Doylestown, 800-300-0003. Let New Hope Academy transform your child's life forever by helping them right now. For over 3 decades, New Hope Academy founder Kathy Ganna, pioneering educator and entrepreneur who created the NHA model, has been utilizing state-of-the-art solutions to uncover ways where your child could avoid struggling and succeed. At New Hope Academy, student-teacher ratio of 2 to 1, allowing for students to deal with many disorders, including high anxiety, social and emotional, bipolar. Don't wait. Prepare your student now. Remember, only the best teachers can work at NHA. Call for that no-obligation touring consultation. 90% of NHA graduates pursue a college education. Call Kathy today, 800-300-0003. Online, newhopeacademy.net. Call New Hope Academy today, 800-300-0003.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Hi, everyone. This is Dom Giordano here with my friend and dentist, Dr. Robert Bentz of the Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz, it's good for everyone to know you have the technology and the people to help. Like John, that guy is an artisan of teeth.
Having the expertise or the knowledge, having this equipment added to that just allows me to get those consistent, efficient results, and it builds up your confidence in my abilities. Having somebody like John, who's been in this business for decades, is a big help. He's able to come in using this equipment, and he helps me build the case as I'm actually doing the work. And that is unbelievably second to none for that, because that is a benefit I'm blessed with, to have that ability to have that lab here.
Dr. Bentz and the team at Bentz Dental Group provide solutions for the most complex dental cases. Call Dr. Bentz today at 610-272-6949 or visit BentzDentalGroup.com. Bentz Dental Group, say it with a smile.
It's the 12 days of savings at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. From December 12th through 24th, every day brings amazing deals. On the first day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me up to $5,000 off a Hot Spring Grandee. On the second day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me new auto ship for all water care with no shipping fee. On the third day of savings, Spring Dance gave to me savings up to $2,500 on our sauna floor model clear-out sale. The 12 days of savings only at Spring Dance Hot Tubs. Visit springdancehottubs.com for more deals.
For eligible individuals 18 and older with self-perceived mild to moderate hearing loss only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Hello, I'm Dr. Harvey Abrams, head of research audiology at Jabra Enhance. Did you know there's a connection between untreated hearing loss and chronic conditions like cognitive decline and dementia? The good news is hearing aids can actually reduce these risks and help you stay connected. Today, I'm excited to tell you about my favorite hearing aids, the game-changing Jabra Enhance Select 500. Jabra Enhance offers an affordable solution for most common hearing problems with our best-ever speech-enhancing capabilities for a mighty sound in a micro-sized package. Plus, with Jabra Enhance's premium package, you get 3 years of continuous remote care provided by licensed hearing healthcare professionals. No waiting rooms or long commutes. It's as easy as video chatting with a friend. Because at Jabra Enhance, our job is to help you hear and be heard.
Save $300 on Enhance Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to JabraEnhance.com/radio. That's JABRA Enhance.com/radio. JabraEnhance.com/radio.
Calling unlimited. town. Hello there. To follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
There is so much developing. As I speak right now, Senator Rand Paul is putting out there, floating the idea that Elon Musk should be Speaker of the House. And this after he and, obviously it was Trump, Elon, Vivek, our dynamic trio, not just duo, but they really killed the bill. It was a bipartisan agreement on a short-term spending bill. And so Senator Rand Paul becomes the first lawmaker to suggest, saying it out loud, that Musk should be the speaker. And this comes amid the comments critical of Speaker Mike Johnson. And remember, Mike Johnson, when is he up for his, to get his renewal, if you will? Just a couple weeks away from that. And so I know many of you this morning on Kale & Co., you were not happy with the fact that Speaker Johnson didn't stand up to this. So I think that Johnson is still, I think it's a good cop. My take is it's a good cop, bad cop situation, but he's on notice. And so he's talking to everybody and trying to get something else passed. But they put the kibosh on this.
Representative Daniel Goldman today on MSNBC claimed that it's actually Elon Musk who's the president, Dawn. You want to hear that?
Yes.
Here is that clip.
Congressman Goldman, Donald Trump is asking you to do him a big favor. Would you please raise the debt ceiling for him right now so that he can give those tax cuts to Elon Musk and other billionaires next year?
Well, Lawrence, I think you have it just half a click off. It's not Donald Trump asking for this. It's very clearly President Elon Musk asking for this. The fact that Donald Trump has been completely AWOL during these negotiations to the point where only after Elon Musk publicly tweets about his displeasure and about this budget deal, all of a sudden, Donald Trump, chief of staff to Elon Musk, comes trotting in and blows up the deal. And let's be very clear. This means that what Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing is likely at this point to shut the government down over Christmas. And when you hear, as you pointed out, Elon Musk say no bills in Congress should be passed until January 20th, it's unclear whether he understands that we need a legislative act in order to fund the government and provide children and seniors and veterans and service members so many of the benefits that the government provides. It's not clear to me that he has any clue, but what is clear is that he's calling the shots.
So he doesn't know that. And what I see is Trump is someone we know during the last time Trump was president, what did he do with those generals who he trusted? Remember this? Remember the Moab? And then after that, we never heard about Aleppo and the refugees. You know why? Because they went home under Trump because he trusted his generals. He's not a micromanager. And so I reject, it's typical. And, I would expect him to say that. But the truth is, I'm just trying to think of an analogy, and you can help me with this. You know how I was thinking of my grandparents' house, and they had their house the way it was wired, and my dad knew how to do electrical with my uncle, and they had to rewire the house, right? I said right. I hate when I say that. But they had to rewire the house, and they had to put a new power source, a new way to rewire that was more efficient. So if you think about Elon Musk and think about the way that he looks at science and technology, and he believes in new energy sources, this is a new kind of power rewiring of our political process as we know it. And that's the way Elon thinks. This is the way his brain works. But Trump put him there, as well as Vivek. Trump knew what he was doing. And talk about a deal. To my knowledge, they're not. Well, I know Elon, he's not taking a salary. I don't think Vivek is, but Elon isn't. Trump isn't. And so for Trump, he's somebody who delegates. He does not micromanage. He's very busy, and he has trust. He has the trust of Elon Musk. Elon stood there on that stage in Butler, Pennsylvania when they came back. Remember, I'll never forget that. And when Elon Musk came out and said, I'm Dark MAGA, and there were so many people who flocked to Elon Musk. He brought in voters. He brought in that trust. And so this is Trump trusting Musk as a member of his inner circle. If that concerns you for any reason, I would love to hear about it. 855-839-1210. I know that former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who you've seen on, I've seen him on Fox and other shows, but he is, I think it's fair to say, he's friendly with both Musk and Trump. And he talks about them as saying that these guys, they never give up. They're going to follow through. They are relentless. Those are the kinds of things that I keep seeing, McCarthy talking. And McCarthy knows this job. So this is something, I'm just watching this with glee because they will get her done. And all of these swamp monsters, they've never seen anything like this. They've never worked with anybody like Elon Musk or Vivek Ramaswamy. Do you have the audio? Did we play it yet? We played it earlier this morning of Vivek, Dan. Because, Vivek, remember, he was somebody who was critical of being too smart. Remember, I know he's the smartest guy in the room. That's, in a way, I don't know what that's like, but in a way, it's probably got to be tough to be the smartest guy in the room.
I think around here, you sometimes are the smartest person.
Oh, no. It's not true. Silly.
I do have it ready for you.
Here's Vivek.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but they made it over 1,500 pages long so you wouldn't read it. I did you a favor. I read it for you. It's supposed to be about keeping government operations open and providing disaster relief aid to hurricane victims, which I'm sympathetic to. But if you read the bill carefully, it contains pay raises for members of Congress, and I'm not making this up, an expansion of their federal health benefits. It contains all kinds of special interests and pork funding, including opening up a new stadium in Washington, D.C. It renews the Global Engagement Center, which is a key node of the censorship industrial complex. And the worst part is, they didn't want you to know about any of it, and that's why they made this a last-minute jam job. The reason I'm co-heading DOGE is I think we need outsiders to bring actual accountability to Washington, D.C. So feel free to call your congressman and let him know how you feel about it.
So that's Vivek Ramaswamy. He's so brilliant. And I remember when he came here to Philadelphia, I had the honor of, he was here on my show, but then I was at least one of his events, town halls. He was talking about the opioid crisis and did a great job, of course, under the direction of his national grassroots leader, my dear friend, Kathy Barnett. But think about that. Dan, when did he post that on social media? Do you have the time of that by chance?
No.
Because I'm coordinating with, look at when this 1,547 page document, right? This beast of a behemoth of a document, right? Oh, I said right, darn it. And so they posted this thing. They posted this thing 5:46 p.m. December 17th. And so he very quickly, he studied this Reddit. I know parts of it are coming out.
21 hours ago is when he posted that.
So think about how long then they posted it at night on December 17th, 5:46 p.m. on the evening of December 17th. That's pretty quick to read 1,547 pages. I don't know about you. He's got other things to do. He read the whole thing, not just read it, he studied it. See, nobody on Capitol Hill has ever worked with these guys who are brilliant guys. He and Elon Musk. They have a ton of smarts and a ton of energy. But just to give you some of the headlines, so they put in the beginning.
2 p.m. is when he posted
What's
it.
that?
He posted that 2 p.m. yesterday, 2 p.m. on the 18th.
Okay.
So it looks like he woke up, read it, and posted that.
Dang.
That's
impressive. So they start out with the disaster grant, because they're starting out with what's going to be popular as far as to help the farmers, to help those struck by disaster, especially the hurricane victims. And all of that reimbursement for repair, replacement, restoration work on things like roads and bridges impacted by Tropical Storm Helene. That makes sense. Then they go through and they talk about recycling, water, and environmental related provisions. And then what that looks like. That's in the next one. And I'll get through all of it. They also put as one of the major headlines, helping our veterans, improving veterans' experiences. So all of those. But then they digress. And so that's really where you want somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk reading through and say, oh, well, buried in some 1,500 plus pages in at the very nitty gritty, that's where they get into all of this and put in the perks and the pork and as well the cover, heavy cover to protect Liz Cheney and those J6 persecutors. Shame on any Republicans who didn't read it and voted for it. But then again, my question is, well, did they know what was in there and they were going to vote for it anyway? I have a problem with that too. And you should as well. We should not see the fleecing of our tax dollars or the jam job, as Vivek said. But you know what? We got to talk about Italia, right? We got to talk about Italy. I hope you go. Just a couple spaces left here. I still have to call Ken Chase. Anne laughing. I'll never live that down. I think that was Isle of Capri. I'll have to show you. We had those big, they put like booze in a big lemon. You know, it is Isle of Capri. And I'm not really I never day drink or really, drink during the week. So I had this one drink that was delicious in the lemon. Yes, at lunch, but that's too much for me. You know what I mean? I shouldn't do that. So I was a little bit, I don't know. Well, you heard it. So there you have it. You can be the judge. But oh my gosh, just a really trip of a lifetime. The memories, the photos, the videos, and the friendship, the camaraderie. We had a blast. And many of you that went last time around, I know you're already booked. Thank you for doing that. I can't wait. Seriously. This time around, we were in southern Italy, obviously, last time. Now this spring, the Italian Riviera. And yes, Lorenzo and Romina, they'll be with us. Again, Conservative Tours, crafting this itinerary that is sure to enchant us. It is enchanting, and it's something special. Tuscany, the Riviera, Northern Italian Lakes region, Cinque Terre, and the dining events. Remember? Incredible. Something to truly write about and remember for a lifetime. $53.78. Yes, that includes your airfare. Pisa, Michelangelo's Florence, the fashion capital of Milan. That means shopping. Toll free, 888-733-9494. Or just go to conservativetours.com. Scroll through. You'll see my picture and the itinerary there describing everything. Luxury hotels, a Mercedes coach, a tour leader who is absolutely the best. That's Conservative Tours in Italy. They think of everything. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena, home to Il Palio, the medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Modena, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. What amazed me was, I look at this itinerary. Last time around, I don't know how they did it, Ken Chase, but he snuck in these extras, these first-class, amazing extras. I was blown away, seriously. Conservativetours.com. You got to come. See you in Portofino. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Harry, if you watch any more of those stupid financial shows, I'm filing for divorce.
How am I going to keep up with our retirement accounts?
At JML Financial Group, we want you watching your grandkids playing soccer and sunsets in Hawaii, not the latest rumor of a market crash. Surprisingly, with proper income planning, the stock market shouldn't even be a concern. The money came in every 2 weeks while you worked. It should be the same in your retirement years. Let us show you how. Call JML Financial Group today at 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. So, when your neighbor's sunbathing in the front yard,
Harry, you're an idiot. Get away from the window.
keep your eyes focused where they should be, on enjoying your retirement. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company.
It's no secret. The clock is ticking. Grab your last-minute gifts at
News.
Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10. Toys by Barbie, Disney, Mattel, Hot Wheels, Nerf, Sonic, Fisher-Price, and more, starting at just $3.99. Small electronics you can easily wrap for $4.99. Box gift sets you can throw a bow on. Start at just $5.99. Box cozy PJs start at $9.99. More money! Don't wait. Time is running out. Get to Foreman Mills now.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Batteries Plus bulbs in Mount Laurel and Northfield are certified by Apple as an IRP, which stands for Independent Repair Provider, for official Apple support using Apple genuine parts. For example, how frustrating is it when the screen on your phone cracks? Batteries Plus bulbs can repair that easily for you. Roy and his team at Batteries Plus bulbs are knowledgeable and professional. If it takes a battery, Roy and his team can help you. For more, go to batteriesplus.com or 856-638-0778.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Should GLP-1 weight loss medication like Wegovy and Zepbound cost hundreds of dollars? We don't think so. TryLifeMD.com helps provide insurance access to the leading GLP-1 medications. Visit TryLifeMD.com and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I've gone from 237 to 195. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get started right now and check your eligibility for GLP-1 medication with copays as low as $0 at TryLifeMD.com. That's TryLifeMD.com.
Kale and Company weekday mornings 6 till 10.
Luigi's not getting any Swedish fish in the joint. Luigi has for breakfast a choice of fruits, grits, bread, eggs, and coffee.
We have to remember, as these dummies on News Nation are like, hi everybody, there's a person dead. It's again this idol worship. Do you guys see him? Is he watching? Like they're giddy schoolgirls. Ugh.
Goes back to the big take this morning, the violence of the left, the irrelevance of the media.
Start your day with Kale and Company. Weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. The Dawn Stensland Show on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is an important follow-up because I had reported to you, and I'll read some local headlines just to refresh your memory. This was about a University of Pennsylvania assistant professor under fire. One headline, this is the New York Post, more of a right-leaning publication, obviously owned by the same company as Fox News. Quote, socialist UPenn professor hides social media after celebrating the alleged United Healthcare CEO's assassin. Another one, this is NBC 10, this is locally. UPenn teacher apologizes after her comments. And so that was, perhaps you'd say that's more fair. But this one has split people as far as what should happen here. We know that this assistant professor apologized profusely, but now we have an attorney, this is Alex Morey joining us today, talking about and representing FIRE, concerned that Penn is investigating this assistant professor and media studies professor, Julia Alexieva, for her recent social media post regarding the murder suspect and the murder. And so let's bring her in. Alex, it's great to have you here. So
hi, good morning, John.
Hi, good morning. I hope you could hear me, but I was kind of relaying some of the headlines people hear locally, especially in Philadelphia and some of the Pennsylvania and New York East Coast stations, the headlines, whether they were calling this UPenn professor a socialist or whether they were supporting or criticizing or just saying, oh, good thing she apologized. But you have written now a letter. You've penned a letter to President Jameson at the UPenn here locally at University of Pennsylvania. Tell us why, and why you think that the investigation into this assistant professor is the wrong thing to do.
Yeah, so at FIRE, we're a nonpartisan organization trying to get people to have these debates when controversies come up rather than empowering, folks in the government or administrators at universities like the University of Pennsylvania to decide which views are debatable. And so what we worry about, whether it's a professor like, Yulia Alexeyeva saying controversial things that are seen as socialist or leftist that people are criticizing, or whether it's someone like Amy Wax, who has had controversial views that people have said are, too conservative or on the right, we don't want Penn deciding which conversations get to be had on campus or which faculty are allowed to, have certain views, even if they're controversial. Instead, at a university like Penn, you want, the whole spectrum of views, and then people will have those debates. And as we've seen in this situation, Professor Alexeyeva is getting a lot of criticism. Having a First Amendment right to say controversial things doesn't mean you're free from criticism, but it should mean you should be free from punishment at a school that promises you First Amendment-like free speech rights.
And so in this one, and I had reported it, just so you know, at the time, everybody reported it. She had, first of all, she deleted the post. It said, have never been prouder to be a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. That was part of it, but was referring to the accused killer. And so then apologized for it. Then UPenn released a statement saying that these are not our views, etc. And so I really thought, okay, that's the end of it. As somebody, I believe in free speech. She did not, to my knowledge, the statement, that she made was I was shocked by it, but I took her to be genuine when she said she was deeply sorry, that she was more referring, as I recall, she was referring to the healthcare situation and not the tragedy at hand. But in this case, is that your argument? Let this play out and accept somebody's apology, accept somebody's viewpoint, have the conversation. Take me through, why in particular you're supporting this assistant professor.
Yeah, so, what we like to see ideally from an institution like Penn when there's a controversy is a really robust restatement of that faculty member's rights. Instead, what we more frequently see from universities when they're under pressure is they hop right into, we're going to investigate. It gives them sort of cover, suggesting, we're going to do something about this when they're getting pressure from folks who dislike the faculty member's speech. What we'd like to see instead is, this is protected speech. Our faculty can say whatever they like and they may be criticized for it, but Penn is not going to, punish them or investigate in any way because, of course, investigations alone are very chilling, right? If you're a faculty member, especially an adjunct, with a contract that might go away at the end of the year, you don't want to be under investigation. That's going to shut someone up. So what concerned us most here was a statement by one of the Pennsylvania representatives, Dan Muser, suggesting that he had spoken to someone or someone's at Penn and that Penn had assured them that they, were investigating. And so that's what we're concerned about. If Professor Alexeyeva is apologizing and saying, I'm sorry, and that's sort of a genuine reflection on her part, fine. But if that apology is coming under duress from Penn, if Penn has exerted any level of, pressure on her, then, that is very concerning. We want these debates to be happening in an unfiltered way and not having folks at Penn that purport to love free speech instead putting their thumb on the scale one way or another and saying some views just aren't acceptable for professors to express.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and this assistant professor wasn't the only one. There was the Columbia University professor, and I reported this before, but Anthony Zenkis was also being slammed for mocking this whole murder, and that one I think got a whole lot. That had millions of views, saying today we mourn the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, gunned down. Wait. I'm sorry. Today we mourn the deaths of 68,000 Americans who needlessly die each year so that insurance company execs like Brian Thompson can become millionaires. I mean, that's obviously, to me, geez, the guy, he's gunned down on a street. He's got two sons and a wife. It's pretty apathetic to say the least. So is this more of an issue? Let me just ask you this. Is this more of an issue of a lack of a policy and train? I'm from a background of a broadcaster. There are certain things that if I say them on air or even off air and I'm quoted to a publication, I will be fired. And I work in talk radio now, and my career, started for decades in television news. I was trained. I signed documents as to what I could and could not say. And I can tell you there were things that if I said, I would have been fired. Had nothing to do with free speech, had to do with my contract. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you
you know what? Faculty have a really unique role in our society, and so we like to give them more freedom to, speak their minds, particularly when it's on issues of public concern or when they are speaking about something that, might be adjacent to their field of expertise. Now, if you're the CEO of, Pepsi, or you're a broadcaster, you're going to sign a contract when you are employed and say, I'm going to, speak about X, Y, and Z. But when you're a faculty member, there are certain things for which you are paid to teach. But we also sort of accept because academic freedom is a special concern of the First Amendment, we have to give faculty a little bit more freedom to speak about issues of public concern, because we want them to have, the utmost ability to talk about the issues of the day, even if they say controversial things. That really infuses the campus free expression climate with this freedom to have these unfiltered debates. We don't want faculty to be worried about, gosh, am I going to have my contract non-renewed, or am I going to get pressure from a legislator, or is the administration not going to like this if I say X, Y, and Z? Now, something like what Professor Alexieva said might be, on the edge of the spectrum, but it's still fully protected. And by protecting professors who say things like she did, or like Amy Wax, who has said other controversial things that are seen as more right, then we give all the faculty within the free expression climate this assurance that whatever they might say is not going to come under undue scrutiny. And that's the kind of climate we want. Again, doesn't insulate folks like Amy Wax or Yulia Alexieva from this kind of criticism that they're getting, but it tells faculty, it tells us as people who rely on information coming out of institutions like Penn, that there are not, nefarious things going on with administrators or legislators, or, undue pressure from the outside that's influencing the kind of information that we're getting out of these institutions.
Yeah. I know we have to pivot to TikTok, Alex. I could talk, part of me, and there were things that Amy Wax has said that to me are just boneheaded. This assistant professor, this was just, this is a murder. And it was, to me, it deserves, I don't know if it deserves an investigation, but I think for me, there are people who say things and they're in a position of authority, and it's not really a debate. It's not in a class. It's more of that you're on social media and you have the potential you're representing, University of Pennsylvania, an Ivy League school with an incredible reputation. So I would push back. I mean, I agree that I celebrate and obviously I fight for free speech every day. On the other hand, I would say the universities, maybe they're not a TV station or a broadcasting entity. My feeling on this one is maybe they need some on-the-job training with people and remind them that when you go on social media, you are standing on a platform that has the potential to reach hundreds of millions of people. And you're not just defining what you think, but when you represent in your email or your TikTok or whatever, your X account, it identifies you as a UPenn professor, you represent UPenn. Do you know what I'm saying? So at the very least, I think this does deserve some training with individuals. Just be appropriate.
Yeah, there are definitely professionalism norms within universities. And what's really interesting, what we see a lot at FIRE is those professionalism standards abused. Whenever a controversy pops up, an administrator just says, you're being unprofessional, whether it's someone expressing a conservative view or a socialist view or whatever. So certainly there are professionalism norms within academia, but given the highly polarized climate that we're in right now, we haven't really seen a good way for administrators to use those standards in a way that is not just punishing controversial speech. But absolutely, that is a question right now facing higher ed.
Alex, I could talk to you all day. We need to pivot to our next guest, but I hope you come back. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Absolutely, with Fire. And look, she's awesome. And I just, I go back and forth on this one because on one hand, you know me, I believe in free speech. We need to open debate, especially because I was an adjunct professor, as you know, locally at LaSalle University. To get college students to open up sometimes is difficult. They don't really want to talk about these controversial issues, so you don't want to shut it down. But if you represent the University of Pennsylvania, I mean, you got to be appropriate. Yeah. And like I say, on both sides, I think, Amy, whether it's Amy or whether it's the assistant professor, both of them, that was bonehead. I can say both of them on the right, the left, boneheaded, apathetic, be best.
I really love this organization, what they're doing right now. Freedom of speech is incredibly important, especially when censorship becomes huge. But Dawn, there's an issue that I kind of have an issue with Fire right now, and that's the whole situation on the ban on TikTok. Because here on air, I've been saying for a while that I think TikTok being ran by a nefarious government. Yeah, sorry. Thank you for the grammatical correction. I think it's a detriment to our youth, our younger generation. But Fire's doing some work now in the Supreme Court to overturn that ban. And I wanted to bring on the Director of Public Advocacy at Fire, Aaron Turr, who's going to be joining us now to talk about that subject as well, Dawn.
Aaron, thanks for being here. So we could have spent so much time with both you and Alex. So thanks for coming on. And we're really giving people such a broad spectrum of all these different issues. But this is about the nationwide ban on TikTok. It's before the Supreme Court. Take me through your thought process, if you would. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, yeah, and thanks for having me on. So our thought process on the TikTok case is that this law that targets TikTok and potentially other apps and websites with connections to foreign governments is really unprecedented. It's the first time in history that the U.S. government has singled out and effectively banned a medium of communication. And the government has made no secret of the fact that one of the law's main purposes is to shield Americans from ideas and viewpoints it doesn't want us to see. And that's just never a legitimate reason to regulate speech. The core purpose of the First Amendment is to prevent that kind of paternalistic move by the government to control the information landscape from dictating what we can say and what information and ideas we can listen to and evaluate for ourselves, regardless of their source. So the argument here isn't that we shouldn't worry about China and how it could undermine our national security. It's just that when the government takes the dramatic step of shutting down a platform for expression and restricting the speech rights of 170 million Americans who use that platform, it has to prove that such a restriction is necessary to address an extremely serious and immediate danger, right? And the government just hasn't made that case here. It hasn't put up the evidence. And the court essentially said, that's fine, we trust you. But that's not how it's supposed to work, not when fundamental rights like free speech are at stake.
And so for this, and by the way, if it were about Eurovision, I remember that movie Eurovision, and I never knew about that big song contest. It's in the Scandinavian countries, I believe, but I never knew that existed. At the time, I said, why can't we see that now? I guess now, starting recently, Americans can see that kind of thing. So on one hand, I would love to open that communication up and see what other countries are doing, especially when it comes to things like you're saying, free speech, especially music and the arts, I think could be incredible. But as far as this goes, so wait a minute, are you on the same side then as Trump Because we heard recently that President-elect Trump said, maybe I'm not against TikTok because it helped me in the last election. I'm trying to figure this out here.
Well, look, I mean, if President Trump's position is that TikTok shouldn't be banned now, then yeah, we agree with him to that extent. You know, we'll you know, I don't know if our reasons for opposing the ban are exactly line up with his, but you can interpret that in kind of a broader way to say that TikTok is an important and distinctive platform for speech in the U.S. that isn't, you know, it has this reputation, right, for just being about silly teens dancing. But it's also used by millions of Americans for political advocacy, right? Both presidential candidates started using it this last summer. My organization and many other advocacy organizations like ours use it to spread our message out there and reach a younger audience. People use it to consume news, for political content, for arts and entertainment. So it's such a serious infringement on the rights of so many Americans to use the platform of their choice to speak, to put out their message and to receive information and ideas.
So the one thing I would say, and I will tell you, because one of my teenage sons had actually said, you know, I look at sometimes the funny dancing and little bits on TikTok, but stays away from it, and was the first one to tell me, Mom, have you seen TikTok in this country as opposed to TikTok very different in China? And that brings up another issue, because is it another country? Is it free speech, or is it another country that's a communist country, a competitor, enemy, whatever you want to say, trying to influence young people in very different ways than the format? The format there is very different than it is here. And then the other issue is, as far as communism, and should they be allowed to in any way indoctrinate American youth? That's one of the arguments, right?
That's one of the arguments. So one of the government's arguments is that the TikTok may be manipulating content on the platform in the U.S., so affecting what U.S. users can see, or that the Chinese government may be coercing TikTok to manipulate content. Now, the first thing to note about that is that the government actually conceded a lack of specific intelligence that China ever has actually manipulated TikTok's content in the U.S. And in fact, if the content is much different from what you see in China, that seems to suggest that it's not doing that, right? Because I would assume that the content they're seeing in China is the type of like propaganda that the government wants them to see.
Or we're just a bunch of idiots, and that's what I said to my son. I go, I hope it's not that, you know, but I fear that it's us American, you know, our American kids, this is the stuff they're doing.
I actually done a lot of research into this, and Douyin, the version that they show, you know, Chinese citizens of TikTok, what they show them are, you know, community service kind of things, or they show them positive, you know, ideas to try to influence the younger generation into, you know, positive futures. Whereas there's been, you know, work done to show that the algorithms of TikTok instead, you know, are looking to diminish American society. Influencers now the number one, you know, thing that young people want to be. Whereas if you look at China, I think it's still astronaut, you know, as what they want to be. And I just see trash being fed to a younger generation on purpose in some kind of, you know, ideological subversion going on here. And I just wonder, do you guys sense that at all, or is that just not really even on the table here?
So Aaron, the question here is it a reflection of our youth? Is it just a reflection of the youth there versus here? Or is it by design an algorithm manipulated?
Well, so I think that's a good question, right? I think it could in part be a reflection. I think it also could be that these platforms try to drive engagement, and there's certain types of content that may drive engagement that some people might think is not, you know, the most productive or the most beneficial. But that debate can happen, right? I mean, there can be a debate over how TikTok should use its algorithm or curate content. But it ultimately, TikTok, regardless of the identity of its owner, itself is a private company headquartered in the United States, and therefore has a First Amendment right to curate content the same way that other platforms like X and Facebook, you know, and newspapers like the New York Times have that right. That the government can't tell them how to display content to the public. And I would also go back to the point that the government conceded that it doesn't have evidence that China Chinese government is forcing TikTok to display content in any particular way. And I think the more important point here, though, from a First Amendment perspective, is that the record is clear that the government's concerns about so-called content manipulation are at bottom concerns about propaganda and foreign influence, about Americans' access to perceived to content and viewpoints presented on TikTok, and the government trying to control Americans' information diet, saying we don't trust you to do it ourselves. And when it comes to kids, we don't trust parents to supervise their kids and their social media use. Yeah. And again, the First Amendment stands against that type of paternalistic speech regulation. It prevents the government from trying to coddle us and protect us from speech that it thinks is misleading or manipulative, especially in the political realm, because we know how the government can abuse that power and has abused that power in many other contexts. So I think one more point I'll just add here is that it's really important in any First Amendment case to really think beyond the specific facts of the case and the precedent that's being set and how the government can apply that precedent in other contexts, and how it's being potentially be given a really expansive power and control over American speech.
And so, Aaron, this goes before SCOTUS January 10th, right? Because the law otherwise would take effect January 19th. Yeah. Gee, something happens on the 20th. But that's when they'll hear the arguments. They've accepted the emergency appeal. What do you have an expectation here as to what this court will do?
It's always really hard to predict. I think it'll probably be a close decision either way. But we were disappointed that we asked the court to at least pause the law while they could take time to consider the arguments on both sides and issue a really well thought out and considered opinion. But for some reason it decided no, we're not going to pause the law. But what we're going to do is expedite this case, have lawyers file briefs around Christmas time, and then have oral argument like a week later, and then decide the case a week after that. I don't think that's not the way I would do it. Yeah. I would want to do it if I was a Supreme Court justice, but that's what the court decided, and there you can speculate about whether or not that indicates the court is has a favorable disposition towards the law and the lower court's decision, or it doesn't. You can kind of argue it both ways, but it's really hard. It's always hard to predict, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, well, listen, I hope you come back. This is basically to us nerds who love the First Amendment and cherish it. That's really, the fact that they said to the lawyers, be ready. You're going to argue whether this law passed by Congress as a so-called ban violates the First Amendment. My think is this is a First Amendment court. I think they will go with the First Amendment. It will come down to the attorneys and their arguments. But
absolutely
they will go to, I think they will vote for protecting the First Amendment before anything else. That's just my feeling and my
Fingers
hope.
Crossed. Yeah.
Please come back. Aaron Turr, you guys are great at FIRE and do great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, really appreciate it. That was great. Dan Borowski setting that up, seeing that one. So, Dan, great job to you. But I hope we certainly follow that one up January 10th. This will be huge, and I can't wait to hear those arguments.
Hey, if she happens to be listening, the contact over at FIRE that I booked with, I just emailed her a thank you for setting up the great guests, and it came back that she's now on maternity leave. So I don't know if she just had a child or congratulations.
That's amazing.
That's fantastic.
Can you say her first name?
Katie.
Congrats, Katie. See, that's, you think about Carolyn Levitt, you think of all these, Katie was working, right, probably just about to go on maternity leave or had the baby. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're amazing too to see that, Dan. Where am I going?
Magic.
Little magic?
Yes.
Talk about the kitchen. I told Larry the other night, get out of my kitchen. Because when it comes to your home, trust is everything. For 45 years, and Kitchen Magic, we had a chance during one of the big charity events raising money to help hospitalized children. They're a great local company, and that's the thing they support. Us here at Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, but also so many of the local nonprofits that support our community. And that's why Kitchen Magic is known for giving back. I really appreciate them. Local employer, local company. All the work they do is in-house, so they're not farming out any of the product that they make personally, that they make for your home or the people. These are longtime employees, and that's really important. And my goodness, they've been building such a great reputation. They transform kitchens with professionalism, precision, and such care. They really do care. They take such pride in their work. From the custom cabinets they create to the countertops, backsplashes, storage solutions, Kitchen Magic gets the job done fast. In just a few days, your dream kitchen becomes a reality without the hassle. You can trust the name your neighbors have been relying on for decades, Kitchen Magic. So get your free in-home consultation. Put this on the calendar. Do this, kitchenmagic.com. Let's cook up something extraordinary. kitchenmagic.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle. Unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
As a business owner, you wear a lot of hats. One minute you're ordering today's inventory, and the next you're planning tomorrow's expansion. It's complicated. But your business credit card should be simple. With the Signify Business Cash Card by Wells Fargo, you earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases for your business with no caps or categories to track. Signify Business Cash, the deliberately simple business credit card. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/signify. Terms apply.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Hey, it's Greg with Cal & Company. Tackle the NFL action on FanDuel in partnership with Valley Forge Casino. It's America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Greg, FanDuel.com/Greg to join today. Don't forget that promo code Greg, G-R-E-G. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel.com/Greg one more time. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 1210 WPHT, so you know you're in good hands. 21 and over, President PA. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here are some headlines from DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro headlines. Meta is going to set up a $50 million privacy payment scheme to settle an Australian proceeding. Fortnite players get millions of dollars in refunds for unwanted purchases. This is an incredible story where the federal government says Fortnite led players to unwanted purchases through manipulative online practices or dark patterns, which could result in a $245 million payout for the parent company. That one is huge. And then there's another story And you don't see these stories. I get these, I sign up because I love DuckDuckGo. And as you know, I found them. They started out locally, but I don't see these stories anywhere else. So you sign up for their Privacy Weekly report, and they'll give you these. PhotoBucket opted inactive users into a privacy nightmare. This, according to revealed really, due to a new lawsuit that has just been filed. It's just one of the many reasons that I respect and trust DuckDuckGo. Now they've added this layer with DuckDuckGo Privacy Pro. You've heard me talk about it, but time is running out for you to get this 30-day free trial. And why wouldn't you try this out for free for 30 days? Do this on us, and I believe that you're going to stick with it. As I learn more about DuckDuckGo and their locally run company, they're pretty incredible. For me, I've had a great experience, and I keep looking down at my little virtual private network, how they're blocking. They've got their little ducky shield up there. They use cute little, the cute little duck. Even though it's cute, it's tough, and it does a great job of protecting me from those creepy trackers. So a virtual private network, that's what they offer. One of the things they offer within this Privacy Pro subscription that you get 30 days free, duckduckgo.com/1210. It's fully encrypted. It's very fast. It's simple. It's secure. If I can use it, you can use it. And yes, when we go to Italy next spring on the trip, yes, they have servers across the United States and Europe. Personal information removal, it does that too. Finds and removes your personal details that they've tracked, like your name, your address. At one point, my social security number was out there. My cell phone was out there. So they're going to make sure that that information is extracted from those sites that store and then sell it. Number 3, identity theft restoration. If, God forbid, your identity gets stolen, a specialist is going to help you restore those stolen accounts, recover financial losses, correct your credit report. Pretty incredible. Try it for 30 days free. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. If you like it, then stick with it if you wish. Then after 30 days, you'll pay the $9.99 a month. DuckDuckGo.com/1210. Do this and tell them Dawn sent you.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
So you remember a while back, I was covering a certain trial here in Philadelphia, and the gentleman at the center of it was a relatively maybe unknown or not a famous person who then became famous in our region. Bucks County father, husband, became pretty famous in America for what happened to him. And it was representative of the weaponization of government that we saw. And it started with Mark Houck. I know you know the name, but back then, this was somebody as a private citizen, a respected Christian Catholic pastor who was standing across the street from an abortion clinic, exercising his First Amendment rights. And what happened next was incredible, an incredible show of faith and strength by not only Mark Houck, but his wife, his community, but then also how the federal government doubled down, actually put him on trial. Thank God, wisdom and truth and faith and God really prevailed here. Joining me now, Mark Houck.
He's not with us, Dawn. Sorry. I do have the clip from Jim Jordan,
sorry.
though. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Mark was here.
No, sorry. I had the clip.
So with Mark Houck, with what happened there, he really exemplifies what happened with the government misusing, for example, this FACE Act. We're hearing about it again, and that's what I'll tee up this now as Dan was about to play Jim Jordan. This is the House Ethics Community. They've been looking into this with the persecution, weaponization of our government. Shouldn't happen. Here's Jim Jordan.
Under the FACE Act, here's the bottom line. Government has been weaponized against we the people. September 23rd, 2022, Mark Houck at home in Pennsylvania. 10 unmarked cars pull up to his house at 6:30 a.m. and arrest him in front of his wife and 7 kids. What'd they arrest him for? Praying in front of an abortion clinic and protecting his son from some crazy person screaming swear words in his child's face. In fact, he was prosecuted, went to court, and the jury of his peers found him not guilty. 12 days after he's arrested, our witness, Mr. Vaughn, at home in Pennsylvania and arrested in front of his wife and 11 children And what was he doing? Exactly what the chairman said, praying and singing hymns outside of an abortion clinic.
So we have followed the case of Mr. Houck as he has, and I know he had filed a lawsuit against the feds, and we've followed his case, his family, what happened to him, and remember the chilling story that he told here live on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. I had the honor of interviewing him multiple times, covering that trial where he was fully exonerated. But then as well, I know Dom Giordano, Rich Zioli, did a great interview where they really laid out the emotion of the situation and what had happened to him. I'll never forget this, that this is somebody at home in Bucks County with the wife and kids, and, basically people all dressed up, law enforcement in their tack, full uniform with the tack gear as if it's some massive, drug dealer or what have you, and take him in, shackle him, chain him to a desk, intimidation, the whole thing. I mean, they rolled it out for him.
You know why I find this so important is because when we talk about these three-letter agencies that need to be completely reworked, and we have some great things happening, hopefully with Kash Patel going in there, I think this is among the top three stories. I mean, with the school board, license plates being tracked, of just the overstepping of our federal, investigation agencies and the bias that's persisted. I mean, using the FACE Act to go after, as they're stating here, religious individuals expressing their opinions with families in front of their families in very violent terms. I think that's a clear example of how out of control these justice systems have gotten.
Yeah, I think, it's the what Spider-Man said. Wasn't it Spider-Man who said, with great power comes great responsibility?
I don't know if it was Spider-Man, but I know the quote.
One of the superheroes.
I'm not great with superheroes.
It's Lee. But, I will say that this is an example, like Stan Lee said that, right?
No, it was Uncle Ben, I think, to Peter Parker in Spider-Man.
See?
Yeah.
Mom of boys. I can't say I'm
Yeah, Jim's nodding. That's
right?
it. Yeah, we got a comic book guy behind me, so yeah.
But so many of our great laws, even our Constitution, the fact that we do need Congress, we need patriots, we need us, we the people, to make sure that everything stays in proper perspective. We've talked a lot about that. That's the theme with what has happened in the past administration, and it's a sin, as I say. But I do have faith. I do have faith in this particular Supreme Court. I know that they're called a controversial court. What I see them doing over and over consistently is just restoring the order and making sure that the Constitution, as far as states' rights, our constitutional rights, everything is as it was intended in the proper context. And it's a reminder to all of us the manipulation that can happen when we are not minding the store. And that's really what's happened here. But you know what? Look at what just happened, what was called out. How did we start this morning? We talked about Vivek, Elon, Trump, the new administration, Doge. I mean, Trump is not even president yet. Elon Musk is a private citizen. I imagine they'll try to throw that in his face. But the truth is, they are paying attention. You only need one genius paying attention who's going to pay attention to this stuff. Because otherwise, they would have passed. They were out partying. They were woohoo. They were partying, having a good time by all accounts, until Elon Musk and Vivek pulled the plug and said, nope, get back to work. This so-called bipartisan bill, this is not right. It's the fleecing of American tax dollars, and it's removing the transparency promises of the future administration. This administration currently, it's a sin what they have allowed, whether you're saying the folks at the top, whether he was asleep on his watch, or whether this was intentional. I think it really is an example of somebody who was asleep at the controls. And so look at who took over, and that's evil. And we don't want that kind of evil to permeate our government and weaponize the government against good citizens. And as you said, Dan, most importantly, spying on people in their church, in their synagogue as they pray. That is something I think we can all rally around for sure.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Italy. And there's still other breaking news of the day that I want to just recap with as well. And I know you're working on Mark Houck because you were in touch with him. I hope.
I know he's working right now.
I know he's at work.
In between calls and such. So.
Senator Rand Paul hopefully will call into the Dom show.
On that too, yeah.
And because that's it. We're developing, breaking, and that's why it's incredible. We're live and we're local. It's also incredible if you are taking up the last couple of spots as we head to Italy. What an incredible trip. And this is Conservative Tours, conservativetours.com. I hope you come away with me. I fell in love again with Italia. And remember, Italy is one of the most revisited countries in the entire world. We're going next spring on the Italian Riviera. Come along, won't you? Yes, Lorenzo and Romina, they'll be back with us. They're the best. Conservative Tours crafting this itinerary you're going to love. Larry and I, we've traveled the world. My husband, we've traveled the world together. He was wowed. There were times, especially toward the end of the trip, he just said, Dawn, this is, there's nothing else like this. He was sincere. He was blown away by it. Full disclosure, my stepdaughter Stacia is hoping. She's like, Dad, he's working. He shouldn't really go this trip. She's like, she's already lobbying to go instead of my husband, which you would love to meet her too. But it's hysterical how many of you, I know, you couldn't wait for it, right? Tuscany, the Riviera, the northern Italian lakes region, Cinque Terre, the dining events that I'll never forget in my life. $53.78, which is incredible. And yes, it includes your airfare. Pisa, Michelangelo's Florence. If you have never been to Florence, this is a world famous treasure. The fashion capital, shopping. Milan. Call toll free now. Do this. 888-733-9494. Conservativetours.com. The luxury hotels, the Mercedes coach, the tour leader who is the best. That's Conservative Tours in Italy. A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Charming Siena. I've never been. Home to Il Palio. The medieval Manhattan, San Gimignano, Modena, Lake Como, Vernazza. Join me next spring in Italy. I'll see you in Portofino. Conservativetours.com. Tell them Dawn sent you.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Happy holidays to all. It's the perfect time to talk about Rescue Natural Supplements and their Deck the Hall sale, because right now you can save up to 78% on exceptional natural supplements for every area of your health. From essentials like omega-3s, probiotics, cholesterol support, natural pain relief, and more. And the best part? Over a dozen health-boosting rescue products are marked down under $20. Get started. Stock up today. Call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant or shop online at res-q.com. res-q.com. With Rescue, you can reinforce your immune system, boost energy, and reach your health goals. Again, there's no code needed to save up to 78% site-wide. So get a head start on your health. Visit res-q.com. That's res-q.com. Do it today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. and the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Turn off the financial news and turn on a great retirement. Find out how with Joe Yakovich on The Heart of Your Money, Sundays at 9 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
This is Dr. Marianne Ritchie. Tune in to Your Radio Doctor every Saturday afternoon at 5 here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT for the latest healthcare news and information, because your health is your wealth. That's Your Radio Doctor, Saturdays at 5.
It's no secret, the clock is ticking. Grab your last-minute gifts at News. Quick, affordable gifts for the whole fam for under $10. Toys by Barbie, Disney, Mattel, Hot Wheels, Nerf, Sonic, Fisher-Price, and more, starting at just $3.99. Small electronics you can easily wrap from $4.99. Box gift sets you can throw a bow on, start at just $5.99. Box cozy PJs start at $9.99. Don't wait, time is running out. Get to Foreman Mills now.
It's a great month to get a luxurious new Volvo from Cherry Hill Volvo. You'll be thankful because there's so many fabulous offers to take advantage of. Lease an all-wheel drive XC90 for as low as $687 per month using all applicable rebates. Costco members save even more, up to $2,000 in additional rebates. See store for details. Customers enjoy the stress-free and satisfactory experience Cherry Hill Volvo provides. Cherry Hill Volvo, where relationships really do matter. When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 1039 FM.
The FAA issues a ban on using drones in several parts of New Jersey. Philadelphia City Council voting on the proposed Sixers Arena on Market Street, and thousands of Amazon workers are going on strike during the busy holiday shopping season as their union seeks a labor agreement.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Free speech lives here on Odyssey's #1 talk station. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Lovely music. Other headlines as we look at, yes, Philadelphia City Council taking the public comments. So from the pros and cons, from those for and against that new $1.3 billion Sixers Arena, it is expected to pass and move along to make those construction deadlines. We have, he's in the air in NYPD custody. That's the headline for the suspect in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Luigi Mangione waiving extradition this morning in court. He has boarded the plane back to New York City. So he's on a flight to NYC in the custody of NYPD as we speak. And yes, as you just heard our sister station, KYW News Radio, say, the FAA issuing that temporary flying restriction in multiple cities across New Jersey, including the suburbs of Philadelphia and South Jersey. And that also includes Bedminster and Picatinny Arsenal, those special security reasons. That's what they're saying, special security reasons and national defense airspace. So they're saying these unmanned aircraft are no longer allowed, these private drones, if you will, in those areas through January 17th, and they are authorized to use deadly force against any drone.
Against drones?
Against the drones.
Oh, okay.
So don't put Peanuts, your squirrel, or your little dog, or your kitty cat in the drone because they're allowed. I guess they're allowed to shoot it down. They're saying we are allowed to use deadly force. That was kind of oof.
Yeah.
But so we have that going on. There's so much breaking this Thursday. Dom Giordano in the house. Dom, I hope your friend Senator Rand Paul calls in and gives you the update. Elon for speaker.
Yeah, this would be exciting. For talk radio's sake, I'm on board with it, but I don't know about that, Dawn. So we'll talk about that. Sean Spicer's here. Wanted to talk with him. It looks like a shutdown. How do you do a better job of messaging? Because the media hostility, Democrats inflict pain. I have a story of what happened in here in Philadelphia one time when they had a shutdown. How they stiffed working people by saying it was a safety issue to serve them at the Colonial Tavern over here, whatever the city tavern,
Which is now
federal.
shut down.
Yeah, they shut it down. They will cause misery and pain. So how do Republicans push back against that?
So Democrats, the visual image by Dom Giordano is Kathy Bates in Misery.
Yes. We might play with that. And Dawn, I don't understand these 22 places where you can't fly a drone. Camden? What's the national defense about Camden? Come on.
The water department, Dom.
Oh, okay. That's what
Is that
is.
it?
Okay.
Yeah, the big water union that's over there, yeah.
Oh, okay. We
Yeah,
got
is
a
that
water
it? I
from
don't know.
Camden? Oh, man.
Well, it's a great Dom show as usual, and hope to see you tomorrow night in Old City as we back the families behind the badge. And so we'll see you there tomorrow night. Dom shows right now.